Hey you! So, most people have heard me talk about how I got started on the bass in several interviews, but I always only told the most glamorous parts of the story. But today, I actually want to share with you the not so pretty version of that story. When I first started learning bass, I approached it like I approach everything else in life. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. I wanted to be the best without having to go through the process. I wanted to be an overachiever as long as it didn't take too much work. Lazy much? Yes, I was a little bit lazy. If the results didn't happen fast enough, I'd think about quitting. So needless to say, when I got on YouTube and started trying to play the coolest riffs I could find, I couldn't really play them that well. I really couldn't play them at all. But they were so cool that I just wanted to learn how to play them, right? I saw all these amazing bass players, Marcus Miller, Victor Wooten, Jaco Pastorius. Oh, and I saw female bass players like Tal Wickenfield, and I go and try to attempt to play her solos. I try to learn her solos. And because I skipped over all the basics, I'd fail. Hey, Tal. I try to slap the bass all crazy before I actually learned how to pluck the bass. And of course, I'd fail. I'd get on YouTube and I'd learn all of these popular songs without actually knowing where I was on the bass, thinking that I could just go out and play with all kinds of musicians. But what would happen is I'd start playing this song, or they'd say, hey, we're gonna play this song by Stevie Wonder. And I'm like, oh yeah, I learned this song on YouTube. I know what I'm talking about. But sometimes the musicians wouldn't play it in the original key. Sometimes it would be in a completely different key, and I was instantly lost. Instantly. All of the practicing that I did to learn these songs, if changed keys, I had no idea what to do. I had no idea where I was. I didn't know where my notes were on the bass. It's like I didn't practice at all. I had no foundation and my playing was all over the place. Well, Nick, why didn't you just go to a music school? Well, I didn't have the money, and my parents were not trying to help me pay to go to a music school when all of my life I'd been building up to be an engineer. So I knew math, I knew science, I had straight A's in school the entire time. And then at the last minute, I wanted to switch and go to music school. Yeah, I wasn't getting any help with that. I didn't have the extra money for the $50 per session plus, depending on what city you live in, for private lessons to learn how to play the bass. And plus, you'd only get those private lessons maybe a couple times a week, and that could really add up. I learned all of these fancy music creations by the Yellow Jackets and Chick Corea and some of my favorite bands. At that time, I had a little boyfriend who also played bass, and I think that he would silently compete with me. So after practicing these solos from some of my favorite bands, my little boyfriend says, okay, that was great. After I showed him, I played it. It was all fancy. I felt like I was like such a musical genius. And he looks at me and he says, well, now play Deja Vu by Beyonce. Now play Boogie Oogie by Taste of Honey. And I was like, dude, those songs are easy. Why would I play those songs? Why would I practice those songs when I just gave you this amazing solo that's like so awesome, right? So I turned on Deja Vu by Beyonce.
Let's go get 'em.
Come on. I used to run bass like Juan Pierre. Now I run the bass hi-hat in the snare.
These grooves are so simple, but just playing the groove over and over and over again, I could not do it. I was shook. Number one, because he was right and I didn't like that he was right because he competed with me all the time. And number two, it seemed like such an easy groove, which I knew the notes, I played the notes, but I couldn't get the groove. I couldn't get it down because the easy stuff was hard. But why, Nick? Why? Because I didn't learn the basic fundamentals that I needed as a bass player. No one gets as excited about a long, melodic bass solo as they would with a well-played third grade bass line. And that's the truth. So after that whole rigmarole, I put on the metronome and I practiced playing those third grade bass lines over and over for an extended period of time until I got it right. I kept playing that groove until the groove was in me. And that was the birth of Nick West. And before the birth of Nick West, most of my practice time was spent on finding the right video. Instead of actually practicing the right thing, I was searching for videos and still practicing the wrong thing. The lesson is, I took the long route thinking that it was a shortcut the entire time. Now that I have the foundation, I can play the simple grooves as well as the most complicated solos, and I know exactly where I am on my instrument. And I said all that to say, that is the reason why it's essential to implement foundation to domination. Imagine being able to watch as I show you in detail how to jam with a drummer, how to jam with a guitar player, how to gain multiple techniques, all while being there to help you achieve bass domination along the way, step by step. Imagine how much time and money you'll save compared to trying to figure all this out on your own. Trust me, I've done it, I've been there, and I wish I had something like this when I first started learning bass, because I would have been so much better, so much faster. I would have been a beast. All spots are first come, first serve, so make sure that you jump on board as soon as that registration opens. In the next video, I'll give you specific instructions that you can follow in order to make sure that you get a spot in the bass domination course. So make sure that you keep your eyes open, and I will see you soon.